right, welcome back, everybody, to the legendary interview section. Here today, I got Mo, the business mindset master, and so we're gonna dive into some things, and hopefully, you guys will learn a little bit and maybe reach out to this man if you want to go in that direction. But before we begin, welcome to the stage of history. I am your illustrious host, Kevin Uncanny Anytime. All right, and we got my man Mo here. Mo, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for being here and accepting this interview. Really, really cool guy. But let's go ahead and dive in. Go ahead and just let them know first where they can find you, and then we'll dive in a little bit into who you are.
Yeah, sure thing. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm excited to dive deep today. If you want to check out some of my stuff, just Instagram. It's my name, Moe Abbassi. That's where it's probably the easiest to reach out to me or check out my content.
Got you. No, you're not the multi, TikTok, Instagram. Everybody's trying to be on everything. You're in one lane.
No, I got those things too. It's just like,
got you.
It's just easier to have, I guess, one call to action, right? If you want to follow me on Instagram, that's going to be the easiest place.
Got you. Okay, cool, man. Cool. So yeah, I was perusing through Mo's page and I got referred here about my guy Zach, and he's a business mindset master, man. So I noticed that on your page you have that you did 6 figures before you were 25, which is really, really freaking excellent, man. Just kind of give us a rundown of how that process went for you.
Yeah, sure thing. So I actually did multi 6 figures before I was 25. I had 2 companies. The first one I started was a dating consulting company. So entrepreneurs, engineers, programmers who wanted dating advice, and they were having troubles going on dates and meeting women and doing all that stuff. We used to help them out. I got that business essentially up to 30 to 50K a month. And then I started a product launch agency where we would do product launches with influencers. And that got up to also 50 to sometimes 80K a month. So yeah, I did multi 6 figures before I was 25, doing those 2 businesses. And now I'm on to the 3rd one. So it's been fun.
Dude, okay. What got you into the dating scene, man? What was that about? What sparked that idea?
Yeah, so I actually wanted to do it for a very long time, since I was like in grade 11, like in high school.
Wow.
Because building up to that point, I was a super awkward kid, socially weird, socially inept. Like I couldn't talk to anyone. I had no social skills whatsoever. I was very anxious, and I also grew up in a household where I was dealing with a lot of mental and emotional and physical abuse. I was seeing lots of violence in the household. I didn't grow up in the best neighborhood. I was bullied a lot, growing up. And so it kind of led me to not having any social skills. I was afraid of people. I didn't know how to talk to them. I didn't know how to connect with them. I was pretty much alone all the time.
Wow.
And I remember at the time I had like 2 to 3 friends in high school where, we were kind of similar in terms of our social skills together. And we started researching the online world about how to go out and talk to women. And so that kind of got me introduced to that world where for the first time, I thought it was actually possible for me to be someone else. I realized there's solutions to all of your problems. And so I started going out and practicing, and long story short, it took me like 3 years to even get decent at being able to hold a conversation with someone. And I realized this is something I want to do. This is something that I want to master. This is something I want to become really good at. And I want to also teach other people who are having trouble with this to overcome this. And so started making YouTube content, was seen over 1 million people online, did seminars all over the world, over 20 countries, did workshops, camps. I would go out almost every weekend where people would be paying me anywhere upwards to $6,000 just to take them out and basically talk to people.
What? Wow, dude. That's amazing, man. Wow, dude. So if you don't mind me asking, how old are you now?
Right now I'm 27.
So this is recent. Wow,
Yeah.
dude. Wow, that
Yeah,
is
I
amazing.
stopped the business about a year and a half ago. Yeah.
Got you. Dang, man. That's good. So what okay, wow, because this is definitely up my alley. Very, very introverted, kind of shy type of guy, right? Not too gung-ho on, I'm finna go talk to this person and sweep her off her feet, blah blah blah. What right, I'm getting into the whole dating thing. We're gonna get into the business soon, y'all. I promise. But this piqued my interest real quick. What real quick, because this is a mindset thing, y'all. Just saying. Because this translates into business as well if you can approach people in this particular way. What would your main thing you would say when approaching maybe someone of the because did you coach girls and guys or was it just guys?
No, it was just mainly men on how to talk to women.
Got you. Okay, so in that process, what was maybe the average thing that you would have to coach people to do or guys to do to approach a woman?
I think the biggest thing that was the problem, I guess, that had to be overcome is one, the anxiety that people would feel because in
Mhm.
their head, oftentimes they would make the situation 10 times worse than it actually was. They would start future pacing and thinking, oh, well, if I go up to her, this is going to happen and I'm going to get embarrassed and then everyone's going to see. It's actually called the spotlight effect in psychology, where you think everybody's focus is on you, but what they found out is everybody's too focused on themselves to care about you, right? So
Right.
um, that was the biggest thing, is like actually helping the person calm down their nervous system and get used to being in uncomfortable situations where they don't think that something bad is going to happen to them, which
Right.
usually stems from deeper traumas. But then the second thing was also vulnerability, being able to wear your heart on your shoulder or on your sleeve, and be vulnerable. If you're in a conversation and you're being awkward, just say, I'm being awkward right now. I don't know what else. I'm running out of things to say, right? Um,
Yeah.
or I didn't expect this to go the way that I wanted to, and being okay with actually being imperfect and
Mm.
realizing that people are attracted to each other's rough edges and attracted to each other's actual imperfections. That's what actually makes us unique. That's what makes us us. And so those were mainly the two biggest problems, is guys either feeling a high level of anxiety to the point where their bodies would freeze because they're future pacing too much, or that they lacked vulnerability. They weren't willing to be imperfect and learning how to actually do that so that they can have fun.
Wow, that's good info, man. That is really good. That's really cool that you went through that process with your experience being shy and introverted yourself and breaking out of that. That's because again, like I said, that translates to a lot of different things, even though it's in a going for, a partner or something like that type of direction. That's because it's just funny because lately, even in one of our courses that I'm doing right now, I'm going through it with everybody. One of the things that I was like, decided to do, hey, I got to talk and say hi to at least 10 people because people don't even do that, which is
Yeah.
very interesting. It's like, sometimes you say hi to somebody and it's such an awkward situation that they don't even say it back. It's not even that they're being mean, they just don't get it a lot. So they feel very awkward to even respond. But yeah, man, that's very interesting. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing now with the business coaching.
Yeah, so I mainly help entrepreneurs and coaches, consultants, just really get rid of negative emotions, and get rid of negative habits, get out of their own way in terms of limiting beliefs and self sabotage, so that they can actually hit revenue record months and make the money that they want to make within their businesses.
Got you, got you. And so what do you find that people maybe come up with a lot with the negative beliefs and stuff like that? How does that really hinder the process of driving revenue?
Yeah, I think it's more so, it's not so much negative beliefs. We work hugely on belief systems, but the biggest thing that I've seen most entrepreneurs dealing with is the fact that they get into entrepreneurship because they're hoping that they make a ton of money so that they can feel good enough. But because they don't feel good enough, they don't make a ton of money to begin with. And so
Mhm.
it's working on getting the entrepreneur to actually work on deeper rooted issues so that they can feel good enough first, regardless of income, so that it increases their focus. They go back into their business feeling good all the time. They're in a high energy state. And that is essentially what leads to business results in the first place. If you're going into your business every day feeling bad about yourself and feeling low energy and low consciousness, and you're partaking in bad habits to make yourself feel good, then you're never going to be able to have the high level of focus and performance to actually make the money that you want to make. And so it's a little bit backwards. I've seen um, entrepreneurs try to build a sense of self-worth through money, and you
Mm.
need to build that sense of self-worth first so that you can make the money.
Oh yeah, no, this we're definitely speaking the right language right here, man. This is right up our wheelhouse. So hopefully some of the people that are watching, some of my viewers will see what you got going on, man. I really encourage you guys to follow him because it's good to have different perspectives. That's a really good way to look at it, especially in business. If some of you guys that are watching are going into entrepreneurship, that's one of the main things that I identify. Me and him were talking behind the scenes with the previous company that I was building, is really tuning into yourself first and feeling great first. Because if you're always seeking the outside stuff, oh, the car's gonna make me look good, look cool, that's gonna go away real fast. Oh, the money's gonna make me look cool, that's gonna go away real fast. A friend of mine, the greatest thing he said was, money only solves money problems.
Mm,
So it's like it's not about once I get this money, then I'll be happy. That's the backwards one, like you were saying. That's what a lot of people get mixed up. And in the process of building, sometimes you have to understand that, especially first starting off and maybe things aren't catching traction as fast as you want it to be, you still have to be confident in who you are as a person. And knowing that, okay, I have the skills, I have the knowledge, or I can gain the skills and gain the knowledge and continue to push forward, and not think, oh, I'm looking like a jerk out here where I'm out here, I'm broke and blah blah blah. Because that'll slowly decline the business, as well as your energy that you're bringing towards to affect everyone, right? They're gonna feel it. Energy is real in that sense. But man, that's really cool, man. You got a really cool thing going on. And with that, so how long have you been doing the business mindset coaching side of it?
yeah, so about a year and a half. Um, like I mentioned, I stopped my previous two businesses. Before that, I went on a long, like, year and a half journey on top of that. So it's been about 3 years that I've really been working on this. But recently got into this space about a year and a half.
Got you. Yeah, that's really amazing, man. So yeah, that's good. I see you're a watch collector, boxing fan, man. So tell us a little bit about you, man. Like, who's the guy behind the scenes? What kind of stuff do you get into? To maybe, if even if you got books or anything to recommend, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of books, most of them which I haven't even read yet. I just,
Okay.
when you see a book on Amazon, you're like, "Fuck, it would be really cool to read,"
Yep.
and then you order it, and then now it's just sitting in the shelf with all the other hundreds of books that you have. So yeah, I have, most of the time I'm spending it just reading, literally just trying to read as much as I can. Um, I like watches. I think it's like pieces of art. So that's something I'm really interested in. I do a lot of martial arts. And I live in beautiful Newmarket, Ontario. It's in 40 minutes about north of Toronto. So just
Got you.
getting out
So
into
that's
nature.
Canada, right?
Sorry?
That's I said, so that's Canada, right? You're in
Yeah.
Canada?
Yeah, in Canada.
Okay, cool, man. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So just getting out into nature, hanging out with my dogs, and a guy that just knows too much about the human mind, the human brain.
Yeah. That's interesting. So a couple people that are in the institute are, one is Jenna. She's in I keep getting this wrong, but I believe Kingston. No, she's in Kingston.
Kingston, yeah.
I just interviewed someone named Selena, Illuminating Essence. She's also in Kingston, but I know a few people out there, man. My guy Josh does like graphics and stuff. He's in, I believe it's Hamilton.
Hamilton, yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's really amazing, man. That I'm speaking to a lot of people from Canada lately. This is very interesting. Is it because I don't know statistically how big it is, but is it pretty large or is it kind of like it's kind of small? People
Canada,
know each other.
Canada's huge, man. Canada's like one of the biggest countries on the planet. Um,
Got you.
we just don't have that many people. Like I think our
Got
entire
you.
yeah, our entire population is as big as like, California. So um,
Ah,
yeah, it's a lot less people. I think it's 1/10 of the US's population.
oh, that's okay. That's what it is. Because yeah, I'm like looking at the map. It looks like it's huge, right? So it's like, okay, what's going on? And but yeah, that's really good, man. That's really good. But yeah, this was good, man. This is a really good interview. I really appreciate you coming on here, man. As far as any accolades and things like that, what different accolades and stuff can you tell us that you've received? Like, I don't, I'm tripping because I don't know if that was behind the scenes or now, but you said you've been on stages and stuff like that, but tell us a little bit of the places you've been and where you've actually spoke.
Yeah, I mean, I was speaking mainly to my audience of like people who were following my YouTube channel. So we would run seminars, and I've ran seminars in Amsterdam and Germany and England and
Wow.
Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York. So um, bigger cities because that's where a lot of my audience was. But the biggest thing has been, how I got into this space about 3 years ago is, and this is why I stopped my companies, is I was waking up and I was having a lot of panic attacks and I was having anxiety. And
Mm,
two of which led me to this hospital in the span of a year, even though I was financially successful on the outside. Everybody was
wow.
looking in and going, wow, this young dude who's successful, has a beautiful girlfriend, has dogs, has an amazing place. Um, yeah, I was waking up and I was just having anxiety every single day. And so it led me on a long journey where I worked with some of the best doctors, got to know like Dr. Robert Glover, Dr. David Buss, Dr. Michael Perser, um, did interviews with them as well and everything, and went to Tony Robbins seminars and pretty much spent a lot of time traveling and using the money that I made to overcome this problem and figure out like, why do I have this issue of self-sabotage? Why do I have this issue of these terrible habits that show up, these self-destructive habits, even though I have what I thought I wanted, which was this financial
Right.
success. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, went on a long journey, got a bunch of certifications, and went through books after books, courses after courses, seminars after seminars, to really figure out my internal problem, and did hypnotherapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, MDR, all this stuff. And that's probably what I'm the most proud of being able to finally overcome that. I've been anxiety free since the past 2 years. Haven't had even one single episode of anxiety, and that's what I
That's what's up, man.
mainly help a lot of people with.
Oh man, that's really cool. Wow. Okay, so you really didn't know where it was coming from? It was just an overwhelming sense of just fear or anxiety that you would have, and you were trying to figure out what it was about.
Yeah, I mean, I had some idea of where it came from, which was at the time of running this business, getting it to 30 to 50K a month, and then doing the second business. I had mainly lost passion for it, so that was one. I wasn't following my true purpose anymore. Even like when I would have like tons of client wins and my clients were crushing it, it didn't excite me. And I was
Mm,
waking up, putting out a lot of fires within the business, having to deal with employees, appointment setters, salespeople, and that was really nerve wracking. But I think the biggest thing that I realized about myself during that time is that I had a lot of unresolved trauma, and I was
mm.
trying to solve all of this unresolved trauma with money. And money
Gotcha.
only accentuates who you are. It doesn't solve those things. So if you're a person who's already a little bit anxious, you're already a little bit traumatized, and you have all of these things going on, money's just going to expand that. It's not going to solve it. It's not going to get
Mm.
rid of it. And that's what I realized is like I had everything that I wanted, but yet felt hopeless, purposeless, and I was waking up like just having panic attacks. And which is really rough because you at the time you think you're having a heart attack, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Uh,
Wow.
Very intense feeling. So yeah, I really wanted to figure it out. I was like, well, what's the point of having all this money if I don't solve my inner issues? And so I went on
Yeah.
a pretty long journey, did every form of quote unquote healing there is, took shrooms and,
Yeah.
went to NLP retreats and, did all
Mm.
this stuff. And some worked, some didn't. And here I am.
Wow, dude, that's tripped out, man. Okay, so then what exactly, or what was your solve? What happened to where you were like, okay, I'm good now?
I think it's a multitude of things. I started with cognitive behavioral therapy. I started with getting a therapist first.
Got
Um,
you.
that was a huge moment for me because although that didn't necessarily solve the problem, it got me to open up and talk about it,
Yeah.
um, which was the start of it. So I started with cognitive behavioral therapy. Um, Hypnotherapy was probably the most helpful thing for my anxiety. It within Once you get good at it and you can do self hypnosis within an instant, like, 2 minutes, you can get rid of anxiety just really, really fast.
Got you.
So that was super helpful. But I think one of the, there's breath work, there's meditation, all of these quote unquote habits. But
Mhm.
the most helpful thing for me was going deep into inner child therapy, inner child work, and
Mm.
figuring out where my inner child felt like it was lacking, figuring out why my inner child felt so scared, why my inner child felt so unloved and needed all of these bad habits. Like I used to smoke a lot of weed. It was pretty much every night I used to smoke weed to
Mhm.
kind of calm down my nerves. Used to drink on the weekends. Used to try to fill my life with as much sex as possible to fill the void and fill that lack of feeling loved. So doing a lot of inner child healing where I started to reparent my inner child and almost talk to my inner child the way I wanted to have me talk to when I was 5 years old.
Got
And
you.
doing a lot of work like that, that was probably the biggest game changer because it helps you figure out um, why you're having these behaviors actually show up in the first place. Because a lot of people try to fix negative behaviors through accountability and tracking sheets, which I do. Like I have those for a lot of people I work with.
Yeah.
But what's more important than that is figuring out why is this showing up? Like why do I
Right.
feel the need to smoke weed or drink or watch Netflix or play video games or watch porn and so on and so forth? What am I trying to fill that is being unmet in terms of my own inner child, that 5-year-old part of me? And so that was a game changer. That's a lot of the work that I do is figuring out where that inner child is lacking, so that you can feel good enough to start with, rather than trying to feel good enough with money, because that's not going to solve it.
Got you. Man, that's deep, man. Wow, that's really deep, dude. And I actually know a few people, and I hope, I know they're gonna watch this, but the anxiety, man, that's a big thing, dude. That's a really big thing. Waking up with a lot of anxiety. I know a few people, they've had traumatic pasts and stuff like that, but man, that's a really, really interesting thing. So another person, y'all, that's mentioned, therapy. It's a thing. It's a thing to do. It's a thing to try out. To really, really try and dive in. And when you get into a space where you're really trying to solve something, you're not, the ego's gone. A lot of the stigmas and stuff like that. You're just trying to really figure out what's really going on. Like
Yeah.
I'm willing to really go the lengths to see how I can fix this. And it sounds like you got to that point, and that's, we try not to go into desperation to where we it's an absolute must. But any of you watching this, if you are at that space, just know that therapy is an option, man. This is interesting. I just spoke with a psychotherapist just the other day. I interviewed her, and she spoke with a lot of people that were like kind of just um in that space of where they were like, I'm checked out, I'm already gone, because it was in a sort of an institution where she was getting her credentials to become a psychotherapist. So she was kind of freelancing doing that, and I was like, dude, I can only imagine the conversations you were having. She was like, yeah, people that were like dead set, they're on heroin, they're like, nope, this is what I'm doing, and to try and have or coach people through that. She was like, it wasn't any coaching, it was just me just listening to them talk about what was going on. And I thought that was really interesting. But the help is out there, and this is a good thing, man. I didn't expect that. This is really good, because you never know. I mean, obviously, like you said, outside looking in, it's like, well, man, he looks like he's got everything together, but you never know what's going on inside, to really, really try and find that out. So I'm definitely interested now, man. That's a good thing, man. This is because the and Selena, who I Illuminating Essence, who I interviewed, she is starting to do. That's the second time I've heard that inner child work.
Mm.
I've never really been exposed to that term before, but that's something that I want to look to explore to see if I have any areas of opportunity myself with that. But that's really good, man. That's really good. So I hope people really gained a lot from this. This took a turn. I didn't know it was gonna go in that direction, man. But this is really good. For people that are going into entrepreneurship, and they are trying to begin a business. What do you think your best advice would be for them?
The best advice I can give, if they're trying to start a business, of course, the first thing is like get a mentor.
Yeah.
Um, my first mentor, I tried to start the dating business by myself at first and pretty much got absolutely nowhere. I was making like 2K a month, and I was also working Uber at the time. So it was a hustle, man.
Yeah.
I remember the first mentor that I got, Brandon Carter. Um, Shout out Brandon Carter, man. He was super helpful. In the first week that I worked with him, I made $30,000.
Nice.
Removed all of my debt, removed all of my, at the time, even I was living in my parents' house, so I was able to make some money, and it was super cool seeing how much a mentor can make a difference. And so, of
Yeah.
course, like the first thing is like have a mentor, have someone who can teach you what has built success already. And in order to find a mentor, I think the biggest thing is making sure that one, they have the success that you want. Two, they have helped other people build that success. And then three, a high number of those people were actually successful. So a high success rate with a lot of people. As long as that hits those points and you resonate with that person, like get a mentor. But on top of that, as you start to build the business, as you start to make more money, you want to become aware of your own personal blockages and your own personal things that are getting in the way. Because I think a lot of people, the reason why they don't make more money or get to the levels that they want in terms of impact and allowing themselves financially to be free is because they're holding themselves back. They'll often hit a revenue record month, and then as soon as they hit that record month where they make, let's say, 10K, they go, oh, well, I can take the gas off the pedal, and they start to fall down back again to the point where they hit a low month where they, let's say it's like 2K, and they're like, oh, I got to pick things back up. And they just constantly go back and forth between this 10 and 2K a month, or for someone else, it could be 20K and 100K a month. The point is your identity is stuck at a certain level that's not allowing you to surpass that.
Mm.
And so, not to get too deep into it, but looking into inner consciousness work, inner child healing, these things are going to be massively helpful to not only make more money, make more impact, but also just be happy while you're doing it and actually feel good while you're doing it.
Yeah. Wow. That's good, man. Very, very good info. Well, Mo, thank you very, very much for coming on here, man. Very, very appreciative that Zach found you, man. Shout out to Zach, man. Thank you for this interview, bro. Yeah, because I had never come across your content ever, man, and until today. So that's really, really amazing, man. I really appreciate everything you said, and I hope definitely some of my the people that are on here watching gain something from that. And yeah, definitely go follow Mo on Instagram. And if you want to reach out to him, hit him up there. But yeah, yeah, that's really good, man. So guys,
Appreciate you.
always, yeah, thank you. Guys, always remember that mindset matters more than anything else. All right. And so again, reach out to Mo if you guys want to see what he's about and what he has going on. And that's pretty much it. But you got anything you want to say to the world, man, before we leave?
I don't know if I have anything else to say. I just want to say thank you for bringing me on. Appreciate you for having me, and hopefully this helps someone out.
All right. Well, thank you, man. Appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time.